welcome to Friends of the Word. Today my guest is the pastor here at this beautiful church, Our Lady of the Magnificat in Kinnelon, New Jersey, and I have known Msgr Jack Carroll forever, and that's a long time.
A long time.
Thank you, Jack, for having us.
Thanks, Lou.
We
Nice
appreciate
to
you
be
being here. My fondest memory of you is the seminary, Darlington, the first seminary I went to.
Right.
You leading music.
Yes.
And you were always involved with the choir, the music, the 3 o'clock on Sunday, whatever that was called.
Yeah, we had Vespers on Sunday.
Right. I guess I should know what that was called.
And we had to work on Friday. We had nave rehearsal on Fridays, right after lunch, of all times to have to do music and sing. It was tough. Do you remember the day that the Dean of Discipline came into the church, and we were just in the midst of rehearsal for Sunday's liturgy, and he took the mic from me, and he announced that the president had been shot. 1963, I think. Oh, my Lord. And then he hands the mic back to me.
Oh, pick up where you left off.
Pick up where you left off. Well, forget it. I couldn't get a sound out of them.
Sure.
So finally, I just looked at the guys, and we were about 300 in the house in those days.
Right.
I simply said, get out of here. And of course, we all headed for the couple of TVs that we had. That's all
big, black and white.
Remember that? And
well, I wasn't there at that point. I was there years later. But wherever you, as they say, where were you when Kennedy was shot?
Yeah,
everybody remembers.
Everybody remembers. Yeah.
How did you get involved with music? Was it in your family, or?
Yeah, it was in my family. My mother's brother was a professional musician, and in fact, he taught me how to play the piano. And he paid for me to take some lessons over in Juilliard and so forth. But it turns out that my instrument was really my voice rather than my hands. And so I did a lot of singing, and I learned how to read music. And so in high school, well, actually it started in grammar school, but in high school we did a lot of singing, choral singing and things like that. And then when the liturgy changed, of course, that brought a whole new possibility to sing.
Interesting to be speaking to you about this, because you bridged both worlds, pre-Vatican and post-Vatican.
I did. And when I was a young priest, in 1966, here I'm trying to teach these older priests to sing, who were now ordained 25 plus years.
Sure.
The last thing they wanted to do was sing.
Young whippersnapper.
Oh, yeah, and I'm up there, and oh my gosh, it was hard. And I used to think, what's the matter with these guys? But now I'm on the other end.
Yes.
And when the words of the ordinary of the Mass changed, here I'm the one fumbling the words and trying to learn the new melodies, and there are others teaching us old-timers how to do it. So I have a lot of empathy for those old guys.
That's great.
Now that I'm one of the old guys.
How many years are you ordained, speaking of old
I'm
guys?
ordained a little over 50 years. It was 50 years last May 28th.
And we had a beautiful Mass here.
Yeah,
the Jubilee Mass.
That was a great Mass. I was so glad you could be here for it.
That was great.
And,
50 years. And as a matter of fact, who designed your first Mass invitations?
You did.
Uh-huh.
You did. And I have reused that design on I don't know how many programs over those years, over those 50 years. And you designed the prayer card of mine.
Right.
And you gave me, for my 25th anniversary, a beautiful sculpture that you made of my chalice and the paten. And I have it on my wall in my bedroom.
Now you realize when I was doing that, you guys, the new class, the new guys being ordained or being prepared for ordination, that was a whole nother world, because I came out of high school and Vatican II is going on, and it was so exciting to be able to work with that new idea. We weren't segmented.
Yeah, we were called way back then Vatican II priests.
Yes, oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
Today, I'm sorry to say, we're a dying breed.
Oh, that's
you
true,
and I,
that's
and
true,
oh
that's
my
true.
gosh! But I'm glad with Pope Francis, Vatican II has gotten a
Yes.
good shot in the arm,
Yes.
and I'm happy about that. And
It's almost as if he's going back to Vatican II and reading the documents
yeah,
and reliving them.
reliving them. That's exactly right. And it's encouraging men like me, I think, to go back to the documents as well. And even after reading some of the things the Pope has written, and he has written a great deal.
I don't know where he gets the time.
I don't know either, because he's always out there greeting some dignitary.
Right.
And yet he grinds out these documents that are really, they're very, very good. And they are from the Vatican II literature.
Yes,
And,
yes.
And he just makes it come alive more.
Yes.
And it's no longer a book, or it's something that's very usable. And we have used some of those documents here as adult education.
Good.
And they're really good. People like them.
Do you find priests, whether in your age or older, reject some of Francis's teachings and style?
Some of the men do. I don't know that they reject it, but they're critical of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if they could give it a little more time, a little more thought, maybe even a little more prayerful thought, they would see how very beautiful his writing is. It's for me anyway. He's the first pope whose writings I really want to read.
Yes.
Because they're written in a very readable style,
Right,
and they're not so heavily documented.
And that accounts for his staff. He must have a wonderful staff around him.
He must.
Both in reference to social media,
Yeah.
translations,
Yeah.
and advice, because his content is applicable right there, right in the front page.
It certainly is. And I have a Pope app on my phone.
Stop.
And I tell you, I read it every day.
Isn't that great?
And it's part of my daily prayer.
That's wonderful.
Because he just, the way he speaks is prayerful, it's pastoral. Right. And wasn't that the big theme of Vatican II?
Yes.
Was to be more pastoral, be more with the people, a part of the people.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the people and us, it's us, period, all of us, the people of God. So
when I'm preaching, I call him my best friend, because inevitably one Sunday a week I have to quote something he says. Last week I quoted, he wrote about preaching, and people asked him questions, and he said, when you're preaching, you have to look in the eyes of your people.
How true.
How perfect. I mean, all of what that encompasses.
Which means you can't read it.
No, you can't read, right, and you have to know them.
You have to know them, and
Yes.
there are plenty of priests, I'm sad to say, who are still reading their homilies. What's the matter with looking at people? I'm here so long that I don't preach to them. I talk to them.
Yes.
And I believe that Ed Lambro, who's also here on a weekend, and he does the same thing. He stands in front of the altar and he has a conversation with the people, and they really enjoy that.
Yeah, and that does take, that is a homily. It's taking the scriptures and applying them. It's exactly what, we shouldn't be preaching sermons, unless it's called for a sermon for some event.
Yeah.
But the homily of the people on a Sunday liturgy is perfect. And that communication, looking into their eyes.
Yeah. I like to engage certain people sometimes in the homily, and I find that wakes everybody up. Because
is he going to call on me?
Is he going to call on me? And it's not something that I have prearranged or anything, and it's done in a friendly manner, not in any accusative or whatever. It's just a friendly thing, and again, engaging people is the way to go. Not just in the homily, but even in the Eucharistic prayer, and maybe even more so in the Eucharistic prayer.
In what way do you do that?
I look at them, when I'm praying. I don't have it really memorized, but enough of it memorized that I can pull them into it, that it's not just me and God, it's us together with God offering this sacrifice back to God.
And this church, the physical environment, it makes that so easy, I imagine.
It really, really
I mean,
does.
you have good eye contact with everybody around.
Yeah.
And the location of the music,
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
One of the parts of this church that well, there are two things that I like very much. Number one, I like the fact that the tabernacle is very visible to everyone.
Yes.
Number two, we have a wonderful handicapped accessibility.
Yes, that's interesting.
And so that anyone, crutches, motorized wheelchair, can just power up here, go over there. The ambo happens to go up or down with a little switch.
That was great planning. That was
you.
great planning. And Bishop Rodima used that
Yes, he
last
did.
year when he was here.
Did.
It was
He
perfect.
did, yeah.
That's interesting. And
So-
did you design that?
I did.
That's
I
great.
did, yes. And a parishioner actually made it, but made it the way I described it and so forth, and then he installed it. And it's wonderful. A kindergarten child can go over there, hit the button, down it goes, and be seen by everybody.
That's
Don't have to
great.
put a step
Right,
there
stool,
for the
right,
youngster to
right,
stand
right.
on or fall off or whatever. So it works really well.
That's great. And that's another kind of Francis behavior, going out to the people and making them feel at home.
Absolutely, yeah, Lou.
I've been chatting with Msgr Jack Carroll about Vatican II and its application here in worship in this beautiful church, Our Lady of the Magnificat. We're going to pick up with some of Father Carroll's history and how we met. Well, we know how we met in the seminary years ago. Thank you, Jack. I appreciate it.
You're welcome,
and we're going to
Lou.
continue our conversation.
All right.
Thank you for joining us. Let me hear from you, Father Louie Scurti at hotmail.com. God bless you.